Welcome to another video. If you're taking Calculus 1, you're going to get this question, whether you want it or not. And it has to do with the continuity of a function at a point. This question says, find the values of a and b if the function is continuous everywhere. Typically, that's not how the question would be framed. It would be framed as, find the values of a and b if the function is continuous at -2. But why would we say continuous everywhere? Well, this is a nice case because every piece, every branch of f of x is a polynomial. And we know that polynomials are continuous from -infinity to +infinity. So the only reason why f of x is not continuous everywhere is because there's a problem at -2. If we can take care of the problem at -2, then it's continuous everywhere. Then we can find a and b. Okay, I'm going to show you the key to answering any question that looks like this. It's the same thing you do every time. Let's get into it. The most important thing you must know is the definition of a continuous function at a point. So, this function is continuous at this problem point, -2. If this condition holds, you have to have this memorized. The limit of f of x as x approaches the problem point, -2, from the left must be equal to the limit as x approaches the problem point, -2. Let's write it properly. -2 from the right. And it must be equal to f of -2. These three conditions must hold. If any of these does not hold, the function is not continuous at the point. So before you start taking your limits, the first thing you want to do is evaluate this. You see, because whatever these polynomials are, what you're saying is, if we have, this is your graph. This is at -2. Let's say the value of this function at this point is this. Then whatever you're doing from the right has to be coming in this direction, and anything from the left has to be coming in this direction. If both of them are not coming into this direction, then the function is not continuous. And they have to actually come very close, and then the function has to exist at that point. So this has to exist, this has to exist, this has to exist, and all three of them must be equal. If one of them is not equal to the other two, the function is not continuous. Now, pay attention. If these two are equal, then the limit exists, but it still does not mean the function is continuous. Okay? If the limits are the same from the left and from the right, you have the existence of a limit. But it does not guarantee that the function is defined at that point. So this is what fills the hole. Remember, the function does not need to be defined at the point for you to have a limit existing. You can have a hole in the middle. For example, if there was a hole here, you will still say the limit exists because both of them are going to the same point, even if the point does not exist. But for the function to be continuous, there has to be a defined point, which is what this is. That's what makes the car travel through this road without falling into a ditch. So the way this question is designed, they say if the function is continuous, what will be the values of a and b? So you don't need to worry about this anymore. They already told you to assume that this is equal to this equals this, but what would be the values of a and b if this is true? So all you have to do is evaluate this using the point -2, and then you equate them together, and then you're going to get a bunch of equations that are going to help you solve a system of equations, and you get a and b. So let's begin. So my recommendation is to always do the one that is most obvious. This is the most obvious. The value of the function when x is equal to -2. So you can go here and say that f of -2 will be equal to, this is the value of the function when x equals -2, which is this one. It's going to be -7 times -2, which gives us 14. So we have found 14. It means this must be equal to 14 and this must be equal to 14. So let's go to the next one. What is the limit as x goes to 2 from the left of the function? It must be equal to 14. So at this point, what does this mean? What function will you use as you're approaching -2 from the left? Sorry, this is -2. Come on. -2 from the left. Now, if we're coming from the left of -2, we're taking numbers that are less than -2. So this is the function you're going to use. You have to pay attention to this. So we're saying that the limit as x approaches -2 from the left of ax squared plus bx is equal to 14. Don't forget, everything is now equal to 14. So here, if you plug in -2 into this function, this is going to be -2 squared, which is going to give you 4a, and this is going to be this b times -2 is going to be -2b equals 14. That's equation 1. So you do the same thing. You're going to approach -2 from the right. So you use this function and you go the limit as x approaches -2 from the right of, what's the function? We're going to be using this because we're getting values of x that are greater than -2. So it's going to be ax cubed minus 10b. And what would that give us? It gives us equals 14 again. Don't forget. So it's going to be -8a minus 10b will be equal to 14. Remember, once you have two equations, you can solve them using any method you want. Okay? But I just like elimination. And I know that if I reduce this, divide this by 2, I'm going to have -4a minus 5b equals 7. So if I add these two equations together, it's going to be 0. But let's put them together. You have 4a minus 2b equals 14. Have minus 4a minus 5b equals 7. If I add the two equations together, this goes to 0, and this is minus 7b, and this gives me 21. This implies that b equals -3. So I got my b. Now I need to go get a, but I know that from here I can get my a. Let's finish a. Okay, so I have 4a minus 2b equals 14. I know b is -3, so it means 4a equals 14 plus 2b, which is 14 plus 2 times -3, which is 14 minus 6, which is 8. That means a equals 2. So it means a equals 2 and b equals -3. A equals 2, b equals -3. If we go back and plug in these numbers here, you notice that this function that we have is actually continuous at -2. Let's box this. We're done with the calculation, but let's just do a quick check. See this. We know that f of x will be equal to, what is a? A is 2, b is minus 3. So it's 2x squared minus 3x. So you have 2x squared minus 3x is the first part on top. The middle part is minus 7x. And the bottom part is going to be 2x cubed plus 30. 2x cubed plus 30. Never stop learning. Those who stop learning, stop living. Bye-bye.